Kentucky. I proudly served in the U.S. Air Force. When I returned home, I practiced law at Bell, Schaefer & Graves in Paducah. I then began working for the Court of Appeals. I enjoy seeing the difference our court makes in so many lives. It is a great honor and pleasure to work as an attorney for the Court of Appeals, and I look forward to being your judge. Vote for Jenny Hines, a veteran for justice, for Kentucky Court of Appeals judge.
Paid for by the committee to elect Jenny Hines.
Your home team at Trice Hughes wants to make sure your vehicle lasts as long as possible, especially since warmer weather means more driving. Trice Hughes reminds you that tire pressure is critical to maximizing the performance of your vehicle. From improved fuel mileage to smoother tire wear, make sure your tires are inflated to the correct PSI.
Trice Hughes is here for you and any questions you may have about your vehicle. Buy your next vehicle from the home team. Find them on Highway 91 North, Princeton, or at tricehughes.com.
Time to take a look at community news here on 1580 103.3 WPKY. This morning's community news is brought to you by Community Medical Clinic.
Well, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we at the Edge Media Group want to join with you to show the support. Pick yourself up a Think Pink Week shirt right now at our Big Deals page, WPKYonline.com. Make a donation while you're visiting the site as well. You can even make a donation toward T-shirts for those who may not be able to pick one up themselves. All proceeds this year will go straight to the Pink Ribbon Network. And, of course, that supports those fighting breast cancer throughout our communities. Early voting is still going on. Caldwell County Courthouse basement. Give them a call at the clerk's office, 365-6754, if you've got any questions. Miss Tony says they're open today from 8:30 to 6, tomorrow from 8:30 to 4, and on Saturday from noon till 4. Caldwell County Band of Pride is selling Caldwell County Tiger shirts to raise money for their upcoming season. They're offered in short sleeves, long sleeves, and hoodies. Those prices will vary. See any Band of Pride member to order. Come visit Cash Express October 30th from 5 to 6:30 for Trunk or Treat. They'll have individually wrapped goodie bags ready to go. Now, if your business, church, or family would like to be involved in giving out candy, you can give Sue Ann Loney a call at Cash Express. Here's the number, 365-1708. Crittenden County Bale Trail, it's going on right now. You can get your Bale Trail maps behind Crittenden County Extension Service on Highway 60 East in Marion. There's 21 different entries. All you do is unscramble the letters and turn your paper back in. By November 9th, you could get a huge basket. That's a family fun basket for the winter. Fredonia, of course, they're at it again. A night of treats on the street, Halloween night. That's brought to you by the First Baptist Church in Fredonia and Cumberland Presbyterian Church in Fredonia. They're right across the street from each other. It's going to start at about 4 o'clock. They're going to shut down Door Street in Fredonia, and all you have to do is actually have your kid walk down, and the treats are going to come to them with all kinds of contraptions and zip lines. It'll be a blast. Give them a call at the First Baptist Church if you have any questions with Brother Presley Lamb. Princeton's businesses are joining together with the Princeton Rotary and Optimist Club this Halloween. They're asking to get your child to help them catch a Frankenstein. Frankenstein's actually stolen a fire truck in Princeton. They need your help and your child's help. Here's how you do it. That event is going to start at 3 p.m. Of course, details and locations are still to come. Princeton's officials are allowing trick-or-treating as well at the parents' discretion. Make sure that you follow Kentucky social distancing and masking recommendations. And, of course, got a free yard sale this Saturday, October 24th at Sugar Creek Baptist Church, Highway 293 North, just a few miles north of Princeton. That's going to be Saturday from 8 to 2. Again, free yard sale. Don't miss out on the fun. October 24th, Princeton City County Park. Hang out and watch kickball and softball tournaments. Grab a T-shirt. Fight like a kid. Right there with Owen Tough T-shirt logo right there on the front of it. Plus yummy concessions. Silent auction items are up for grabs. All the funds will be donated right to Book of Hope, which is a nonprofit that actually pays for families with children that are taking cancer treatments. For more information, give Lindsay Bridges a call, 270-625-3969. Caldwell Med, they're holding coronavirus tests through the end of October, no cost. Weekdays, rain or shine, 4 to 5:30. Give them a call, 365-0428. Black Patch Grill, Community for a Cure. Co-branded T-shirts available through the month of October for just $20. You can pick yours up at Black Patch Grill. And the local today. Honor the fallen, thank the living. That's going to be November 6th from 1 to 3 p.m. behind the Cabin Bait and Tackle in Catawba. T-shirts are going to be given to vets and active duty military. Of course, volunteers are needed. Give them a call, 6250235. Stick around. Sideline Report's next.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Raider Auction Company.
Visit Big John's Barbecue in Farmersville. They're open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner Monday through Saturday, 5:30 a.m. till 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday. And they're open till 8 on Friday and Saturday night. Be sure to follow them on Facebook for daily specials and updates. And for those missing the big green trailer, they're working on developing a delivery service from Farmersville and more options. They appreciate your patience and understanding. Big John's Barbecue and so much more. Farmersville Road, Princeton.
This is Amy McGrath, and you might have heard Mitch McConnell's ad using a recording of my voice, but it's doctored audio. He refuses to release the whole recording. When you see or hear those ads, just know that Senator McConnell is cutting out my words and lying to you. He spent 35 years in the Washington swamp. But I took an oath as a Marine and as a national security advisor to always tell the truth. So let me set the record straight. As a mom with 3 young children, I strongly oppose late-term abortions. And I'm a long way from the far left. I spent 20 years serving our country in the Marine Corps. I've been a registered independent, and I'm married to a lifelong Republican. I was raised by my parents to believe in God and to find a way to serve. It's why I'm running for Senate. Because we need more outsiders to drain the swamp. I approve this message because Senator McConnell, the swamp is you.
Paid for by Amy McGrath for Senate.
One of the greatest rights as citizens of the United States is the right to vote. And Farless Realty encourages you to get out and vote on November 3rd. If you do not feel safe going to the polls on Election Day, contact your county clerk's office for early voting options. Your vote counts, so let your voice be heard.
It's time for your SportsEdge.com Sideline Report with Todd Griffin. Talking sports and more here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYonline.com. Here's your host, Todd Griffin.
Local McDonald's wants you to know that they're ready to serve you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They've always had their drive-thru, and now they're offering curbside pickup service as well. To avoid the wait in the drive-thru, you can download the McDonald's app and try curbside pickup. They appreciate your patience and understanding during this time. We are all having to adjust to this new way of life. It's temporary, but in the meantime, enjoy breakfast, lunch, or dinner at your local McDonald's.
And good morning, everyone. The Sideline Report is on the air from 1035 West Main Street in Princeton. Todd Griffin in the WPKY studios. Championship Thursday. Lady Tiger Volleyball playing in the 7th District Championship tonight. We'll be talking more about that a little bit later on this morning with Lady Tiger head coach Daniel Kortner. Getting hooked up right now with our guys from Murray State, Kevin Saul and Dave Winder. We'll be talking racer sports here in just a bit, so stay with us as the Sideline Report rolls on here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
When hard-working families cut costs, government should too. State Representative Lynn Beckler works hard to lower taxes holding us back. He removed regulations on our small businesses and fought for common-sense solutions to the drug epidemic. Endorsed by Right to Life and the NRA, Lynn Beckler makes government work for us. Vote for Lynn Beckler, and he will push for policies that keep our money in our pockets.
Paid for by Lynn Beckler for State Representative.
Do you or a family member have a disability that restricts you from being able to use or to be transported in your vehicle? The certified staff at Pennyroyal Home Medical sells and installs wheelchair and scooter lifts, turnout seats, hand controls, and much more at prices that beat the other companies and internet. Rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. Call 1-800-445-8002. Veteran and locally owned for 35 plus years. Pennyroyal Home Medical.
Your voice lets him know he's safe. Shelter Insurance does the same for you. Roadside assistance is now included with your auto policy. So if your car leaves you stranded, Just call and we'll take care of you while you take care of what's most important. Find an agent at shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Some restrictions apply.
Ask me, Mike Gilkey, about Shelter's roadside assistance.
Farmers Bank, First Southern National, and Planters Banks present the WPKY Autumn Adventure. All you have to do is visit 10 of the 25 participating businesses and complete your entry form. Start and stop anywhere you'd like and pick up your form. Then leave the completed form at your last stop. You may be a lucky winner of a prize package full of gift cards. You can stop at West Market, Holly Eyes, the Athletic Center, Gather on Main, or Falders. The WPKY Autumn Adventure is all week, October 19th through the 24th. For a full list of businesses, visit WPKYonline.com.
We are back on the Sideline Report here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Again, thanks for tuning in this morning. Caldwell County Lady Tiger volleyball coach Daniel Kortner is in the studio with us, working to get connected this morning with our guys from Murray State. Murray State Director of Athletics Kevin Saul and MSU Associate AD for Media Relations Dave Winder joining us on the phone. And let's see if we have those guys. Good morning, guys. How's it going?
Hey, good morning, Todd. How are you?
Good. Kind of working things on the fly this morning, but everything sounds like it's going great, and we're ready to go. And since the last time we talked to you guys have a football schedule now.
We do. Speaking of working on the fly, it seems like we've all been doing that here the last 9 months, so no worries about that this morning, Todd. Thanks for having us on the show. We do have a football schedule. We've got a 7-game OVC schedule that begins late February. I think February 21st is the first date. We run through April 14th. The Racers will have 4 home games as a part of that 7-game schedule with some good opponents. And we open up on the 28th of February. So we'll have a nice warm seat for you, Todd, at Stewart Stadium.
Yeah, that sounds great. Did you ever think we'd be playing football in February and March?
I didn't. I would not have been able to predict that last March, but I certainly am thankful, and our coaches and our players are incredibly excited and look forward to that season in the spring for sure.
Yeah, one of the interesting things looking at the schedule coming up, a lot of those games are on Sundays. How did that decision kind of come about?
Yeah, that's a great question. So you may recall that the OVC pushed all of our traditional fall sports to the spring. So women's soccer, volleyball, cross country, football will all be played in the spring. And Todd, there's actually about a 5 to 6 week period mid-February through late March where all 15 of our sports will be competing at one time. And so we felt like it was really important at the league level, the President's Council and the ADs, to use every day that we could possibly use. And so we'll see our fall sports playing on quote-unquote non-traditional days. So if women's soccer typically plays on a Wednesday, on a Thursday, Sunday schedule in the fall, they may be more like a Monday, Thursday schedule in the spring. Football shifting to Sunday is a part of that effort. Volleyball and women's soccer will be a little bit different. Because keep in mind, then last spring, our spring sports were interrupted. So what we're trying to do is not interrupt the traditional spring sports, the softballs, the baseballs, the tracks of the world, in how we fold in the fall sports. So it'll be a fun and exciting time on campus. We got all 15 sports going for a good 5 or 6 week period.
Yeah, wow, that's going to be almost sports overload for everybody down there.
Hey, we'll take it given what we've been doing here the last 9 months.
Oh, absolutely. And looking at the football schedule, you guys have 7 games. You get 4 of them there at home.
Yes, absolutely. It will be a really good schedule for us. I think most importantly, our coaches and our players and myself and our staff just excited to be able to compete for an OVC championship in football.
I know some practices are already underway. I know the football guys are working out. I know the baseball guys have been working out. What's kind of the preparation schedule to get ready for all that sports coming up?
Yeah, it's another great question. So, traditionally football has a spring football season where they get 34 dates to complete 15 practices per the NCAA rule. That's been shifted to the fall. That's got to conclude 5 days before the last day of classes or when finals begin. So football is in the middle of quote-unquote spring ball, but it's actually in the fall right now. They've got 3 scheduled scrimmages. We had one last Saturday. Guys are really excited in the weight room and training room and doing a good job in the field. So we keep in mind it's easy to forget that Coach Hood and his staff obviously came in December and January of last year. Were able to witness maybe 3 or 4 practices in the spring before we had to shut it down and all the students went home as we went to online instruction. And then came back this summer and preparing for a fall season. And we pushed that fall season to the spring a couple weeks into the semester. So it's been a tough go for Coach Hood and his staff in trying to get prepared, and this fall has really provided a good opportunity to get prepared for a spring schedule.
Now, when you guys come back after the holidays, how soon can teams get to work? I guess what would be the typical fall preparation season? Yes.
So classes begin on January 19th. That's Tuesday after Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. Our football program will come in somewhere around January 6th to get prepared for that first game, February 21st. We'll get their reentry protocol with testing and quarantine and all those things done early, give them a good month to prepare, and then we'll have rifle in the middle of their season as well. They'll likely show up early. We may have a few track student athletes show up early as we've got an indoor meet planned early. In the year. Otherwise, every one of our sports, softball, baseball, volleyball, soccer, they'll report that weekend of move-in, which is January 16, 17.
Now, once the sports get back underway, what kind of restrictions will you have on who can come watch?
Yeah, so we are currently in the midst of a basketball reseeding process. We are going to be restricted to 15% capacity in the CFSB Center. That is inclusive of all players, officials, essential staff. So that percentage of fans is going to be somewhere in the 900 to 1,000 fans range. We are going to be required to conceptually implement a system where we've got vacant rows between occupied rows and 3 vacant seats between each ticketing account. So that we can mandate that proper social distancing. The fans that do come will be required to wear masks per our state health guidelines and the CDC guidelines in addition to NCAA. So it'll be a challenging year, but we're looking forward to first off competing and second off being able to do so in front of Racer Nation.
Yeah, speaking of basketball, what's kind of the latest update on the OVC schedule?
Yeah, so the OVC schedule is going to expand from its traditional 18-game format to a 20-game format. We anticipate that late this week, early next, we should be able to get that schedule out. We just put the finishing touches on a non-conference schedule as well. Just a couple of hoops to jump through there. So we would hope in the next 7 to 10 days that we have that schedule out. It'll be a 12 to 13-game home schedule. And it will be really interesting because the travel partner, our travel partner is Austin Peay. As a part of this conference model, we will be scheduling with Austin Peay flex dates for our 2 games. One of those is going to have to be finished prior to the end of December, and then one can take place after the first of the year. But those are not identified dates within the conference schedule. We will work with Austin Peay to identify those dates and get that done. So a lot of flexibility required for us to be able to get the league schedule in, that's for sure.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things this year, you've got football and then you've got the OVC basketball tournament that's going to fall basically right in the middle of football season this year.
That's right. We implemented a conference-wide bye week where nobody will play and no makeups can take place in the midst of the football season on that OVC basketball tournament week. So football will take a 1-week pause while we play the basketball tournament, and then we'll pick football up the next week.
Yeah, a busy schedule coming up for you guys, but like we've been saying here all along, just glad to have sports back.
Absolutely, no question. I know Dave's just as excited as anybody here to get our sports rolling. That's for sure.
Well, we are, Kevin. I'm a stat guy, so if you take the month of February, March, April, and May, the last thing we do in the school year, as far as conference goes, is the OVC baseball tournament at the end of May. So between those 120 days, I think I counted up the other day that we've got over more than 300 events /games/matches, and that counts every day of tennis, every day of golf, every day of track and field, every day of football, basketball, softball, baseball, soccer, volleyball, cross country, rifle. So that's going to be fun. I mean, we're looking at probably on GoRacers.com, probably something new every day, 7 days a week, all the way through the end of May.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of sports. Hey, Dave, you asked me last time you guys were on the show about Wayne McGowan. I had Wayne on just a couple of weeks ago, and we talked a whole lot about his time at Murray State. And, Wayne still really lights up when you mention Murray State Racer football.
Oh, man, I got to call Wayne and get him on my podcast sometime. That would be a great catch-up. I'm going to do that.
Well, I know he was the leading rusher one season for the Racers, and one thing I didn't know when I went back to start looking at his stats, he actually threw some touchdown passes for you guys.
That's interesting that you mentioned that, Todd, because I remember a halfback touchdown pass. I want to say it was in one of the Western Kentucky games. It might have been at Bowling Green back in the day, and I just remember Wayne as a hard-nosed, tough running back that you could give him the ball, 30 times, and he just would carry the last carry like he did the first one. And, back when he was playing, I just wish we would have had more pieces to go around it, because he certainly was OVC Player of the Year type material with the talent that he had. And I'm glad to see he's there in his hometown, leading young people and teaching and coaching.
We're talking this morning with Kevin Saul and Dave Winder from Murray State University. Always appreciate those guys joining us. And, guys, appreciate it again, but I don't want to let you get out of here before I ask you, who do you have in the World Series?
Well,
I'm picking the Dodgers.
Yeah. Despite my dad's brainwashing for the Yankees, he grew up on Long Island. I think I got to go with the Dodgers. They look pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's
my biggest thing, Todd, is I'm a National League guy all the way.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then because Kevin's a Cubs fan, I'm a Cardinals fan, and yet we work together. So, it's great. And but when the Cubs were in the World Series, I thought it was really neat that they won it. And I'm a National League guy, so even in 2015, I was pulling for the Cubs to get over the hump, and they did.
Well, what are the Cardinals going to do with Yachty? That's the big question I have right now.
Well, Molina and Wainwright.
Yeah.
I got to think that they're going to work out a way for both of them to come back and finish their careers as Cardinals.
Let's hope so. Yeah, for sure. Well, guys, I appreciate it.
Molina says he still wants to play 2 more years.
That's okay by me. I'm okay. I think he's earned the right to kind of stick around as long as he wants.
Yeah, I just hope they can work it out. Thanks, Todd.
Yeah, appreciate you guys coming on. Good luck. Like I said, going to be a lot of sports going on, but that's fun, right? That's what we want. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having us on this morning, Todd. Go Racers.
Thanks, Todd.
That's Kevin Saul and Dave Winder. Kevin is the Murray State Director of Athletics, and Dave Winder, MSU Associate AD for Media Relations there. And I always appreciate them coming in and giving us a good update on the sports situation down at Murray State University. Lady Tiger volleyball coach Daniel Courtner is here with us. We're going to talk to him after we take this time out here on the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Need cash fast? ABC Finance is open with social distancing implementations in place. They believe it's more important now than ever to get a handle on your finances.
Hi, this is Jody Lamb at the Princeton ABC Finance location.
And this is Todd Morse at the Hopkinsville location.
At ABC Finance, we don't just provide loans, but we also provide valuable advice to help you get your credit in better standing.
Our friendly team of professionals has your best interest in mind. We celebrate with you when your finances improve.
We encourage you to like our Facebook page, ABC Finance Company. Many of those useful tips are posted daily on our page, including tons of community info and motivation for the day.
To view social distancing guidelines and safety measures, like and follow ABC Finance Company on Facebook. ABC Finance is located off Fort Campbell Boulevard in Hopkinsville next to O'Charlie's, then Princeton and the Princeton Plaza. Apply for loans online or simply give them a call. They'll take your application over the phone. ABC Finance, all loans subject to normal credit approval.
On the issues, extreme Amy McGrath sounds extremely familiar. She stands with Joe Biden.
I'm going to be good to go down as one of the most progressive presidents in American history.
While Amy McGrath says,
I am further left. I am more progressive than anybody in the state of Kentucky.
Amy McGrath agrees with Nancy Pelosi on the border.
We're not doing a wall.
And I think the wall is stupid. I mean, I really do.
Like Kamala Harris, Amy McGrath supports government-run health care.
As we talk about moving toward a single-payer system, I think that there is certainly momentum.
In my opinion, single-payer is the way to go.
And on packing the Supreme Court with liberal judges, McGrath says,
that's definitely an option.
Government-run health care, no border wall, packing the Supreme Court, extreme Amy McGrath, the wrong path for Kentucky.
I'm Mitch McConnell, candidate for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by McConnell Senate Committee.
And this is the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Todd Griffin in the WPKY studios. Thanks for joining us today. Again, a big thank you to Kevin Saul and Dave Winder for joining us from Murray State. And they'll be joining us again, I think, early, maybe the first Thursday in December. So we'll get to talk a lot of basketball and things about Murray State Racer sports then. Joining us now on the show here in the studio with us is Daniel Kortner, Lady Tiger volleyball coach. And Daniel, you guys have a big match coming up tonight.
We do. We get to travel back over to Hopkins Central tonight and play Madisonville. So it'll be the third time seeing them this year. And tonight kind of ties everything together for the season with the district championship on the line.
Well, and there was a point in the season where I'm not really sure we all thought we were even going to get to the end of the season, but we've got the postseason play now for golf and soccer and volleyball, and cross-country regional matches are coming up this weekend, so we've just about made it through this season.
We pretty much learned every day you get out of bed is not a guarantee anymore. So, but it's changed your mindset as well about I don't want to take a day off or rest kids on certain days because you want them to play. You want them on the court, and you don't know how often you get there.
Well, and we do want to mention that not every team made it to the postseason. You have schools like Fort Campbell, their volleyball team went into quarantine, so they don't get to play in the district tournament.
And that's a tough draw for them. They were a phenomenal team that was really growing and figuring out their rotations and things. They got such a late start as well. So, they were just about to hit their stride, and I think could have made some noise in the 8th District over there.
Well, and we've seen some soccer teams that have had to bow out of regional tournaments because of that. And an interesting situation with Henderson County in 2nd Region volleyball.
Well, they're going to be still under quarantine until Sunday, I believe. So by taking care of business in the regular season and winning their district, went ahead and put them in the region. So they will have. They did forfeit. Webster County won their first ever district for Webster County. So they'll go in as the winner and Henderson as the 2 seed.
So an interesting situation where you have a team forfeiting the district tournament, basically, but still being able to go into the regional tournament as a runner-up.
Right, and that'll shake a draw up real big. So, that makes tonight that much more important. By winning your district, you go in as a 1 seed. So you kind of want to get about as far away from Henderson as you can in a bracket.
Well, and another interesting thing this year, because of the COVID-19 pandemic and the situation that arises because of that, the schedule for the regional tournament has been changed a little bit, and district winners will actually get to host a first-round match.
And that's something we had pushed for on a small level last year. Some of the ADs and I got together, and by doing that, you're going to get to 4 teams don't have to travel. they get to host, play in there, and it's a bigger reward for winning your district. I think if you win your district, you ought to get to host the first round. So that gives you an opportunity to play one more home game in front of your fans and in your friendly confines. But it's going to all be on that Monday night. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is what they're saying the regional tournament's going to be. It's going to be pretty quick and move pretty rapidly from that first site. Then we'll go to Christian County and play the semis and the finals.
Yeah, I was going to say Christian County gets to host the rest of it, and Christian County is one of those teams that's kind of in the mix. It looks like you guys and Madisonville and Henderson County are kind of up there at the top, and then there are maybe 3 or 4 schools behind that group trying to work their way into the mix as well.
They are. Christian County's, they had a couple of big position changes. UHA is full of youth, and that those two should play tonight for their district. So with that, it does. Crittenden County won their district, so it'll be them and representing that district as a winner. So the problem is when you get to postseason, you get a server that goes back there and gets hot. You get a couple of your players that just have an off night, ball bounce the wrong way. It's tough now to pick a favorite this time of year.
Well, and momentum is everything in volleyball.
It is, and we actually play simulate kind of games along those lines about who can score 3 points in a row, and things along those lines. So you can stand over on the sideline and start a match and feel like you're just off to a hot start. And you're in control, you're in power. Other team wins a point, and you look up, it's 3-1. And you think, man, I thought it was about 8-1. So momentum. We always try to say when you score a point, make it feel like it was 2. Sell it, celebrate it, and earn it to where it feels like you're scoring 2 at a time on your opponent.
It does feel that way sometimes when you're watching a volleyball match, that sometimes it can feel like it's almost a dead even match, and you look up and one team or the other's up 5 or 6 points.
Mm-hmm. What used to hurt was, I know one year we went to Class A state and we were playing St. Henry, and it was 10-10, 11-11, 12-12, 17-12.
Yeah.
And it would feel like there was only one serve, so you can lose hold just about as fast as anything in volleyball.
Well, and another interesting aspect of the season this year, we talked about teams getting to host first round games in the region. They're only going to take 8 to state this year, so that brings up, the sectional aspect. You guys have drawn the first region, so if you can win the second region, whoever wins that is going to get to host whoever wins the first region in basically a state tournament game.
That draw was it could have gone a lot of different ways. They separated 1 through 8 and then 9 through 16. So you're sitting here looking at, are you going to get one of the private schools from Louisville? Mm-hmm. It would be neat to host an Assumption or Mercy or somebody like that come down here, but I think our draw went about as well as could. A local school in McCracken, we played them first Saturday of the year, so we've matched up with them. So the girls, they hadn't talked too much about the state level because we haven't been there. So we're really looking forward to tonight for one. So I was pleased with the draw to get to host. I think it'd be neat to get to host a state level game.
Oh yeah. Going back to the regional draw for just a second though, and we talked about Caldwell, Henderson County, Madisonville probably being the better teams. Well, a couple of those could end up on the same side of the bracket, probably will, and so that might end up allowing somebody else on that other side to make a run to the championship.
Yeah, and it's about every year it seems like we've been meeting Henderson in the semis. So there's no easy draw with a 3 or 4 headed monster that's in the region right now, but you sure would like to stay on the other side. With Henderson going in as a loser, that gives you a potential first round draw right there. So it's going to be a busy day Friday morning.
You guys have had some success against Madisonville, though. You've beat them 32 straight times now. You've won 13 straight district championships. So those kind of things on the line tonight too when you play Madisonville over at Hopkins Central.
To kind of bring that point up. Yesterday at the end of practice in our meeting, pulled out my phone and pulled out the KHSAA records and rosters and stuff, and just kind of went around the group and asked what year they were born. And there were, I think, 3 born the last time we hadn't won a district. So, really go ahead and let them know it's a tradition. It's something that you've earned. It's something you've grown up knowing. You've become a part of, and now go make it your own. It's the team that says, it's our district, and we're here for that.
Championship match at 6 o'clock tonight, and we will have it right here on WPKY, so you'll be able to listen in as the Lady Tigers take on Madisonville North Hopkins for the 7th District Championship. And like we say, all the things that come with that, which include hosting that first-round game in the regional tournament. So just to reiterate, it's possible if you win the 7th District, you get another home game. If you win the 2nd region, you get another home game. So
it's laid out there for us not to have to travel very much for the next couple of weeks, and that's what these girls love. They love playing in that gym.
It is championship night, not just in the 7th District, but in the 2nd region for soccer. Boys over at Madisonville is University Heights Academy and Henderson County. Girls up at Henderson will be the Henderson County girls and Madisonville North Hopkins there. So a lot going on. And I do want to say also congratulations to the new Caldwell County Football Hall of Fame class. Rodney Bell, Timmy Bashir, Donovan Dame, Earl Hammond, Brandon Sigler, Ben Van Hoosier, and Kent Wells will all be inducted into the Caldwell County Football Hall of Fame and honored next week against Trigg County. Of course, no football game this week so far. Daniel, I'm still hoping they pick up somebody, but as a former football player yourself, first of all, glad to see this Hall of Fame class, and we're all hoping we can still find somebody to play this week.
Yeah, that is a very good Hall of Fame class there. I had the pleasure of playing with both Kent and Donovan, so proud of them and very well earned, very well deserved. I couldn't imagine sitting here with as much scouting and playbook and scheming as goes on in football. I couldn't imagine Coach Barnes sitting here on a Thursday afternoon wanting to know, do I have a match? And you almost feel guilty because you're looking at someone else's misfortune to open up an opponent. So, it's going to be tough. That'd be a couple weekends, every other weekend for them now. So,
well, and just again, COVID got them basically. Hopkins County Central, which was scheduled to play Hopkinsville in a district game over there this week. Hopkins County Central's football team went into quarantine. That opened up Hopkinsville. They wanted to go ahead and get a district match against Madisonville played, so that forced Madisonville to drop Caldwell County, and so now Madisonville is going to play Hopkinsville, and Caldwell County is still trying to look for somebody.
Yeah, it's a big domino effect, but you can't blame them for the district with so much seeding as they have to do for postseason.
Well, and you guys have kind of run into that a little bit too, because even the last home matches of the year, you had Christian Fellowship School scheduled to come in, and at the last minute you had to find somebody else. Unfortunately, Todd County Central was there.
Yeah, and they had to drop Henderson that day, or Henderson dropped them. So, it's kind of, you just have to keep your ears open and see who's available. Luckily, everybody's been so professional about it. They've been willing to travel. They've kind of said, well, if you were home, I'll come to you. So it's been a blessing to have everybody's contact information.
Well, and I think an interesting situation this year where everyone is just so thankful to be playing that, nobody really, rebels against wearing a mask, or when you're asked to leave the gym and stay in the parking lot for a little while and come back in. I mean, I think everybody's just understands that those are the things that we have to do to play this year.
Right. There is one rule that we sure hope stays. Traditionally, you've swapped sides every set. We really like just sitting on that bench and having that bench for the whole hour and a half. You don't have to pack your gear around and do the awkward walk by a team that you're trying to compete against at the scores table. So we're kind of hoping there's a few rules that will stick around, and then there's some we can't wait to leave.
Well, and that's a situation that's kind of unique to volleyball. I can't remember another sport where you change benches during the match.
And that's geared from the outdoor portion of the sport. So, wind blowing in a direction, sun shining in a direction, things like that. But we've run into several gyms, have a stage on one end, or you go up to some of the multi venues up in Louisville, and they've got 6 feet on one end and 50 on the other. So, it does in some venues need to happen, but a gym like ours is nice and spacious. We want to just sit still for a while.
Well, would it still be feasible to just keep the same bench, but just to rotate ends of the floor as far as playing the match?
With substitutions and things is quick.
Be tough?
Yeah. It's unlike basketball where you can just go to a common scores table, and it could work, but we like to swap secrets on our end, unlike a Vanderbilt where you're in the end zone.
Well, what other things have you kind of seen or have you guys experienced this year because of the COVID situation? Like I said, mention this every week, but going back to August, everybody was trying to condition and practice and get ready. And back then, nobody could even guarantee us there would ever be the first match.
We've broken down a lot of drills, gone back to a lot of fundamentals. We're still using in our practice some of those COVID rules just to worry about safety, to limit how many kids are touching a ball and how many times they are exposed to each other in a 90-minute practice. But as far as changes, it's weird getting your temperature taken when you get on a bus, when you get off a bus. So there's still a lot of and as you say, probably the weirdest to me is come in, play a game, and then leave, stand outside for an hour to come back in and play another one.
Right. Talking this morning with Daniel Courtner, Caldwell County volleyball coach. We're going to get to a timeout here on the show, but be back with more on the Sideline Report right after this.
Your home team at Trice Hughes wants to make sure your vehicle lasts as long as possible, especially since warmer weather means more driving. Trice Hughes reminds you that tire pressure is critical to maximizing the performance of your vehicle. From improved fuel mileage to smoother tire wear, make sure your tires are inflated to the correct PSI.
Trice Hughes is here for you and any questions you may have about your vehicle. Buy your next vehicle from the home team. Find them on Highway 91 North, Princeton, or at tricehughes.com.
Looking to buy or sell your property? Bollinger Real Estate and Auction is a full-service, one-stop real estate and auction company in Hopkinsville. We are local and family-owned. Let us help your family as it pertains to real estate and personal property. Our services are comprehensive, and we are committed to provide our customers with the knowledge and tools to make educated decisions about their property. Call us today at 270-632-8882 or go to bollingerrealestate.com. Real estate solutions with a passion for people.
And we're back on the Sideline Report here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday morning. Again, thanks to the guys from Murray State, Kevin Saul and Dave Winder for checking in this morning. Daniel Courtner, the Caldwell County Lady Tiger volleyball coach, is in the studio with us. And Daniel, just getting back to the COVID issue one more time. We didn't know how many matches we were going to get this year, and the schedule was limited a little bit. At the same time, though, you guys managed to get in 20 matches this season. Which
we were limited to 24. They had several different bullet points behind how you could get to that 24. But I know when we came out of the Rec at the Plex and the Class A region, the girls did not have any legs. So we had an opportunity to pick up a couple of matches late in the year and pretty well took a team vote to save our energy, save our legs, and go. I didn't see us getting anywhere near 24. Which was the max. So to get 20 is good. We're going to lose we got to still have a chance. I don't want to say we won't, but we've had a pretty long streak of 20 win seasons. So we're kind of hoping we can pick up 5 in the postseason.
Get 1 tonight in the district potentially, 3 in the region. That gets you to 19. Knock off that first region team in the sectional. Hey, you got your 20.
Got 20.
Easy, it's right there.
Yeah, there's some Goliaths in that path too.
Well, and talking about the 20-win seasons, and I can't remember how far back that goes. I think, 17, 18 years, the 20-win season. I think you guys have averaged about 25 wins a season going back to when volleyball was started here. But that was going to be tough this year, and this may be one of those instances where you have to throw an asterisk by this season's record and just keep that streak going next year.
It is, and a bigger asterisk, too. I don't know the exact number. We're somewhere around 480, 485 in program wins. So we had a normal 35-game season this year, the 500th team win would have been very obtainable.
Well, and talking to milestones, you had a couple of players on Saturday reach statistical milestones.
Mm-hmm. We've had Riley Thomas got her 1,000th dig over in a Christian County tri-match that day. And, as our libero, they've almost eliminated hitting at her, over the last couple of years. So her numbers have really come from her body of work. So, missed the last missed a couple games last year due to injury, but when she steps on the floor as a libero, I don't even watch the back half anymore. You've grown to trust her, and especially in serve receive, she'll be probably second all time in serve receives. So she's had a phenomenal career and a good long career for her 1,000th dig. Olivia Mitchell got her 1,000th dig Saturday morning, and it actually had about 3 digs on one play to get all of them at once. So she's had, I think, 1,800 kills, about 5 shy of 1,800 kills, and then 1,000 digs. Just such a complete all-around ball player. I think Abby's about 120 kills, so she's got an outside chance with if we can make a postseason run. Abby can get 1,000 kills on hers. Kendall Prowl is about 275 set assists away from all time. So those 4 young ladies, Olivia started some as an 8th grader, but those 4 have started since they were freshmen. They've played 4 postseason games every year. So, they've had a phenomenal career, and they've really been the backbone of our program on and off the court.
Well, Olivia Mitchell was the player of the year in the region last year. If she doesn't win it this year, I'm going to launch an investigation. But at the same time, Abby and Kendall have both played really well for you too.
They have. We talked yesterday. I announced to the girls the names came out for all district. So representing Caldwell will be Abby Griggs, Olivia Mitchell, Kendall Prowl, and Riley Thomas. Those 4 seniors won all district, and they'll be the first to tell you that it's truly a team award. So they've earned their role the last couple of years and just really excelled in it. But I think the surge of Abby's offense this year, taking a lot of pressure off of Olivia and not having to swing as much out of back row and create options. Abby's offense and now defense the last couple of weeks has really taken over. Her blocking timing is getting down, so it's a luxury to have that second attacker, to have that second hit.
Talking this morning with Lady Tiger volleyball coach Daniel Courtner. Caldwell's girls playing Madisonville North Hopkins tonight for the 7th District Championship. That's over at Morton's Gap. Again, 6 o'clock game time. We'll have the match here on WPKY. And Daniel, you guys have handled Madisonville twice this season, but does the advantage swing to the other team the more times you see a team, or if you've beaten a team twice, should you have some confidence going in?
Both sides are going to see it different. They've got a pretty good look at us. We haven't changed anything. We're still going to go play our game. So they've got 2 or 3 girls that would worry me. They can get pretty hot serving and whatnot. So I still feel pretty confident in watching the level we've played. Madisonville just had to take 2 weeks off, so they're just now getting back on the floor. Saturday, that was their first games back. So it's going to be a fun game. I know the best part about it is with the gym size, there's no crowd limit. So any and everybody, I think they can hold up to 450. So any and everybody can go over tonight and watch and cheer them on and support, and I promise you it'll be a good, entertaining match.
So actual tickets available at the door?
Yeah, with cash this time.
Wow, I haven't seen that all fall. That's the first.
Right, it's been a little odd, but with the gym size, that's one reason I was kind of glad it was over at one of those 2 schools. You would like to win district at home, but and the chance to play in front of a bigger crowd is always fun.
Well, and I've been at the girls' regional soccer tournament this week up at Henderson County, and to me it's very noticeable that you just don't have the big crowds. I think the limitations for that was each player got basically 2 tickets and no student sections or anything, so it's not something you think about on a regular basis, but when it's not there, you really miss it.
Well, we actually had Owensboro Catholic on the original schedule, and they've got such a small gym that he told us it'll be home crowd only. And there's no way I was going to tell. As phenomenal as my parents are, supportive as these young ladies' families are and all that, there was no way I was going to tell them, hey, send us up there and we're going to play, but you can't come watch. So that was the first game I canceled back in July, August.
But that was actually one of the options kind of put forth a couple of times, is that if the COVID situation got bad enough, we might be playing games without any fans.
Right, and push come to shove, they would have done it. But, if you've got an option to get out of that, we certainly did.
This is the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY, Princeton, Kentucky. Thanks for joining us this morning. And Daniel, I know you were here when I was talking to the Murray State guys about the World Series, and Dave's a Cardinals fan and Kevin's a Cubs fan, and somebody mentioned the Yankees in there someplace, and I just have to ask you because everybody I think knows by this point I'm a Cardinals fan, you're a Yankees fan, and sometimes we go back and forth a little bit, but this season neither one of us has really anything to talk about.
No, we couldn't hit our weight in the postseason for a while there. So still going to have to root for Tampa Bay. Kind of rooting for the guy last night to made the home run catch. There were better catches in the fans last night than the game, it seemed like.
Well, and the thing that has struck me this postseason is how many times I've watched another team play, and I'm like, hey, that's a former Cardinal, and that's a former Cardinal, and that's a former Cardinal. And Randy Arozarena is like the star of the Rays right now, and that's a guy that St. Louis, basically let get away. So kind of tough sometimes when you see those guys hitting dingers in the World Series, and you're like, man, I wish we still had that guy.
Well, there used to be a stat. They would put Vegas lines on who would win based on how many former Cubs were on programs.
Oh, really?
So, it was used to just count the Cubs, and then they started winning on their own.
So I think I'm kind of pulling for the Rays just to be different. I actually kind of grew up a bit of a Dodgers fan because when I was young, every World Series was Dodgers or Yankees. Mm-hmm. So you were either a fan of one team or the other.
Well, you chose sort of right.
But that was it. It seemed like the Yankees would beat the Royals every year in the ALCS, and the Dodgers would beat the Phillies every year in the NLCS. So it seemed like every year the same teams were popping up.
Right. My Yankees are on a drought. Used to say 2 or 3 years was a drought, but I think this one's getting longer.
So that'll be interesting. I'm kind of one of those guys that when I don't really have a team in it, I just want to see the series go 7 games so that we can all enjoy that, that one game for all of it,
Right. And I like that they're playing them so quick. There's not very many days off right now.
Well, and that's another thing. They're playing these all at a neutral site, so the national media that's getting to cover this absolutely loves it because instead of going back and forth from L.A. and Tampa, they're just right there in Arlington, I believe, playing the World Series. And I'm not sure how the traditionalist in me feels about the neutral site games, but at the same time, I had to learn to live with artificial turf and the designated hitter and now crazy pitching rules that come out of nowhere. So part of me sees the advantage to the neutral site World Series. Part of me, though, is like, that needs to be played in home parks.
Yeah, unless you play in Tampa.
Right. Yeah, nobody really wants to go there and play. But I think there was one year, they said this was the first time since the 19-teens or the 1920s, the Boston Red Sox were actually in the World Series one of those years, and they played at the Boston Braves ballpark because it seated about twice as many. So there's your history lesson for the day. Well, good luck tonight. You guys playing Madisonville North Hopkins. Try to get that district championship streak extended. And either way, both teams are going to play in the regional tournament next week. So lots of volleyball action to go. And again, good luck. And we'll be over there to watch.
Thank you. It's been a good season. I know the girls are fired up. They're ready. They didn't really want to be at practice the last couple of days because it's the time of year where they just want to play. So it's been fun, and all the way up and down. Even our freshman and JV programs this year, they found a lot of ways to get their time on the floor and get work in. So the future is still good and bright at Caldwell County. So tonight's another step.
All right, good luck over there.
Thank you.
That is Lady Tiger volleyball coach Daniel Kortner. Also joining us on the show this morning were Kevin Saul, Murray State Director of Athletics, and Dave Winder, the MSU Associate AD for Media Relations, and always enjoy having those guys on the show. Thanks for joining us this week on the Sideline Report. This is Todd Griffin on WPKY 1580 103.3.
You're listening to the voice of Caldwell County, 1580 103.3 WPKY Princeton, an Edge Media Group station.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Judge Amy Coney Barrett is recommended for confirmation to the Supreme Court by the Senate Judiciary Committee by a party line 12-10 vote. Full Senate confirmation is expected Monday. The new unemployment numbers are out.
The estimate 806